From In Wheel Time, this is the Car Review of the Week, an in-depth look into the latest rides by the award-winning experts at In Wheel Time. Here's Mike Mars. Mr. Mars has a review of the Jeep Grand Cherokee in this week's In Wheel Time new car showroom.
The most awarded SUV ever built, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. And it comes in 7 trim levels. This is a midsize SUV with technically 7 trim levels. Starting with the Laredo, the Limited, you get into the Trailhawk, the Overland, and the Summit, which we had the Summit.
Of course, you
the 4x4. But then there's also the SRT and the Trackhawk. That's where you get to the hot rod, 707 plus horsepower and stuff. But technically, it's a trim level, so we're going to go with the 7. Now, a lot of the stuff is carried over from last year on the external, on the outside of the vehicle. But the Summit does get some new 20-inch wheels that are exclusive to that trim level. So you're going to find the Jeep traditional 7-slot grille. Now, we had the gloss black, and it was surrounded by the LED lighting setup, which includes the headlights, the turn signals, and the brake lights. So, and it also had the gunmetal gray paint. So along with that black trim, it really stands out, and it looks really good, including the body color power folding side mirrors that are heated. Had the dual pane sunroof, which is one of Don's favorites. You could get a whole body tan back there. And it had the power lift gate. Again, the 20-inch by 8 Summit trim level wheels. And a really nice looking color combination. Now, one thing I want to say about the interior, first thing, there is no third row seat. They did not even try and cram a third row seat into this midsize SUV, which is wonderful whenever you start talking about putting cargo and stuff into it and seats. We had the Laguna leather seating surfaces, so the front seats were heated and ventilated. And in this particular trim level, the second row seats are also heated. Got a metal and wood interior trim package, so it's real wood setting in there. Had the 7-inch instrument cluster for the driver. You configure it and do all your readings that you want to do on how the vehicle is acting and performing. Over in the center stack, we had the 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. Now, this is where you're going to get all your convenience controls as well as your backup camera view. And this 8-inch screen is just the way to go. Just don't even look at anything smaller. And that's also where you're going to find the whole media hub with the 4G hotspot. So it's going to have plenty of juice for all your entertainment values for the kids to have all their connections for internet. And
keeps them quiet in the back on a long
yes,
trip.
Yes, it does. and it's really nice because it's a nice combination because it gives you a nice kind of a rugged feel of luxury. You know you're in a Jeep, but it's a nice Jeep. And under the hood, you got a couple of different options for power. The base engine is going to be the 3.6-liter V6. And you can also get the 3.0 diesel in it now. And, of course, the Trackhawk and the SRTs when you get up into the 6.4 Hemis. But we had the 5.7 Hemi V8. Now, this is 360 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission is what you're going to get behind any of these engines. Now, this particular Summit, with the way it was configured with the engine and transmission combination and stuff, you can get it rigged to where it'll tow 7,400 pounds, which is a pretty good load. It weighs more than what the vehicle weighs. Now, the EPA says this vehicle, you should be looking for 14 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. Combined, you should be getting about 17. I got about 16. We did
Why is that, Mike?
We did a lot of research on the performance aspects of this vehicle and the drivability of it.
That on-ramp acceleration test that you
we had to do it several times to get a good, concise performance data point on that. And I will say out on the highway that this vehicle, again, it's kind of unique to me because you know you're in a Jeep, but it's in a nice Jeep. And you've got these 28 by 8-inch wheels on it, so you've got the tires and so on. So going down the freeway at a reasonable speed above the speed limit, you don't feel like you're in a Jeep, but you know you're in a very solid vehicle. It feels very good, confident, inspiring driving when you're driving where you
are such a liar.
I'm trying to do it with a straight face.
Yeah, I know. You're such a liar because I know what you did with that vehicle. You're one of those journalists that hot rod the vehicle, and you're one of those.
He has to get a story.
It's research. I'm telling you.
Right.
He has to learn how good the vehicle is.
Comparative performance research.
Let me just tell you that we're supposed to give the cars back with a quarter tank of gas. How many tanks of gas did you go through when you had it that week, Mike?
all of them.
Oh, well, I had to put gas in it twice.
Twice. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, we got it now. Thank you.
I will say that. So, as I was saying, if you're looking for something to compare it to, again, if you're not really looking at the off-road dynamics because it is a Jeep and it is trail rated, you can look at the Ford Explorer. It's going to start at about $32,000 and go up. You can get it at $54,000 plus some options. The Volvo XC60 is another one that's really nice in that luxury midsize category that starts about $39,800, easily gets to $52,000 plus options. So our base Grand Cherokee, you can get one of these vehicles with a V6 at $32,195. That's where it's going to start. Now, our test base, because we had the Summit, we were up there in the luxury model, is $54,445. Now, again, comparatively speaking, it fits right in there, but we added some accessories or some options that push the MSRP as tested to $67,720.
It's like a Lexus, but you know what? It goes head-to-head with that Lexus, and I'd put it up against it any
and you
day.
can put it into some of the Land Rovers and stuff, but pricing and stuff, I just tried to keep it something comparable.
I got it. See and hear other weekly reviews from the award-winning experts at In Wheel Time.